Hello everybody, I'm AJB and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded. I decided to just kind of hold off due to all of the current events and everything going on in the world right now. I felt like it was best to hold off. And then number two, I've also recently had a change in my personal life. About a week or two ago, I adopted a puppy. She's about 11 weeks. Her name is Pisces, and I love her to pieces. She is a Labrador Pit mix, and she's awesome, but she's a handful. So I've just been trying to get, do the whole potty training thing and just try to get her settled and adjusted to the new environment. So that has taken up a lot of my time. But I'm back, I'm here now. She's adjusting very well. So now I can get back into the swing of things, doing my weekly upload. All right, so I just wanted to give you a little update. But today I want to talk to you all about 4 red flags. And if you see any of these things within the first 5 dates, you need to stretch really quickly and then run for the hills as fast as you possibly can. So 2 disclaimers. The first disclaimer is, yes, us women, we have red flags too. So I have a feeling that might come up in the comments, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the red flags that men give off. Us women, that's another conversation for another time. So just wanted to get that out there. And then the second thing is, if you have fallen for any of these in the past, this is a safe space. We're not here to put anybody down. I'm not judging anybody. I've fallen for some of these before too. So I completely understand. And if that's the case, all you can do is just learn from your past and just, you make a mistake, you learn from it and you move forward. So if you've fallen for any of these, it's okay. Just, and if you haven't, then I would like to hopefully save you all some heartache or just save you from wasting your time, because wasted time is the worst. So let's go ahead and get started. The first red flag is if they give you a sob story. I think that everybody in life has experienced an unfortunate event, if not multiple unfortunate events. We've all had crazy things happen to us. And while it is important to talk about it so that you can heal from it and get better, the first few dates is not the place to talk about that. At the end of the day, the first few dates with somebody, they're still a stranger. They don't know you from a can of paint. So why are they telling you all of their business? That is a red flag. I think that, like I said, it's important to talk about those things, but that's more so a conversation for somebody that you trust, a mental health professional, or a support group of people who are currently or have gone through that exact same thing. Not on a date, okay? No. The reason why it's a red flag is because of the motive that's behind it. It can go 2 ways. So it can mean they're thinking that if they share their deepest, darkest secrets with you, that you will share your deepest, darkest secrets with them, creating this fake bond. And then they feel like, well, if we bond, then whatever they're looking to get from you, they feel like they'll be able to get that quicker if they create this fake bond. So that's one of the first, that can be a motive. And then the other motive is sometimes it can be because people like to use their trauma as a crutch, so to speak. So he wants to tell you all of these things up front, because if you stick around later on, if you notice even more red flags and other negative behaviors such as aggression or lack of motivation, you know, he wants you to be like, oh, well, he acts that way and he is the way he is because XYZ happened a long time ago, you know. So they sometimes they want to use that as an excuse to not to make good choices. They want to use that as an excuse. And that's not good. That's not something that he should do. I think that, you know, in any traumatic event, nobody deserves those things to happen, and it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to heal from those things, and not take it out on others. So either way, whatever motive is behind it, either way you slice it, it's a red flag. So just run the other way if you notice that, if that happens. Number two, the second thing is what is called love bombing. I will explain what love bombing is for those who don't know. A basic definition of love bombing is this: showing extreme affection, love, and passion towards someone in a short period of time in hopes of winning that person's trust. This technique gets the person hooked on the feelings of being loved. That's when the one doing the love bombing reveals his or her true self, which is usually controlling, manipulative, and even abusive. But by the time you've realized this, your brain is already hooked on the good feelings. And in short, love bombing, it's basically, it's when they're giving you too much too soon. So if they're, you know, if you've only gone on, let's say you've gone on 2 dates with this person and they're already telling you that they love you and that, you know, we're gonna be soulmates and I wanna marry you, and all these crazy things that you should not say to somebody that you've only been on 2 dates with, because you can't fall that hard for somebody after 2 dates. So in that case, it is a red flag, although it can be flattering. It could be very flattering to hear those things, but it is a red flag because, again, they're telling you, the guy is telling you what he thinks you want to hear, so that way, whatever he's looking to get from you, he feels like if he says all of these things, that he will get it sooner. And sometimes it can be he needs a place to live, right? Like I read somewhere, I can't remember which social media platform, but somewhere it said that no one falls in love faster than a guy who needs a place to live. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. So whether it be a place to live or, you know, whatever they're looking to get from you, they think that if they say that I love you, you're my soulmate, and I want to marry you, that they can get it quicker. So like I said, although it's flattering, it is not a good thing. It is a lie, and just run the other way. Just run and don't look back, okay? So number 3, the third thing is if a guy says that all of his exes are crazy, that is a red flag. Yes, there are some people out there who just, you know, make very irrational decisions and their partners have to suffer. But more often than not, especially if it's like a pattern, like if you notice it, like if it's happened to him on multiple occasions, if there's a pattern going on, chances are there is more to the story. So for example, if he says, I'm just throwing out an example, I would never do this because it just takes too much energy, but say if he tells you that the last person that he was with slashed his tires, I'm just throwing an example. If he says that, and then the person before that did something else, right? You know, and if he's saying all these things, you know, he wants you to say, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that. I would never do that. I'll treat you better, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, what you need to ask yourself, or you can even ask him, you need to figure out, you know, what is it that led up to the slashing of the tires? You know, more often than not, nobody's just gonna wake up and slash somebody's tires because it's Tuesday, right? Like, chances are there were some events or something had to have happened to have led up to that. And so, like I said, you can ask him, or you can, you know, ask yourself, like, okay, what happened? And so, you know, truthfully, anybody that has a track record of making more than one person so angry that they retaliate in such a extreme way, you know, you need to ask yourself, do you even want to be around that person? Do you want to put yourself in that situation? I know for me, like, anybody that can make me that upset, you know, like, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. So, again, if all of his exes are crazy and he's the victim and it's everybody else's fault except for his, we're gonna run the other way, right? So we don't want any parts of that. Last but certainly not least, number 4 is if he says something along the lines of, I don't want a relationship, I have commitment issues, I'm not looking for anything serious, like anything along those lines, unless, like, obviously if you don't want a relationship either, then that's fine. But assuming, say, like, if you do and he says that is a red flag and you need to run the other way. The reason why this is a red flag is because what they're really trying to say, and they're just being nice about it, but what they really mean when they say, I don't want a relationship, what they're really trying to say is, and I quote, I don't want a relationship with you. The with you is silent. I don't want a relationship with you. However, if you still want to stick around and sacrifice your time and your energy, I will accept it. I'm not going to turn that down. And then when the person that I really do want comes along, I'm probably going to kick you to the curb, and I'm not going to feel bad about it because I told you up front that I didn't want a relationship with you. I have fallen for this in the past, once upon a time, because, you know, I think that sometimes us women, when we hear that, we think that over time, once they get to know us, because we're awesome, that we can change their mind. And that is not the case, okay? That's not how it works. So once they say that, they have their mind made up, and that's okay. You know, so, but sometimes we think that we can change their mind. And me personally, I'm competitive. I have a very competitive side to me, and I'm also persuasive. Once upon a time, I worked in sales, and in the sales industry, you know, sometimes, a lot of times, people say no at first, but then, you know, after a while, you know, you convince them, and then they eventually say yes, and you close the sale. So that's just something that's just part of who I am at this point. But I have learned that, you know, I think that being competitive and persuasive, I think those are good traits to have in my professional and even my academic life. But in my romantic life, I had to turn that off, okay? I had to shut it down, because, like I said, once they say that, they have made up their mind. There is no convincing them otherwise. And I always tell people, don't get caught up on so much why they don't want a relationship with you. You know, that part doesn't really matter, because sometimes it can be something that we have no control over, such as our height or our, you know, our eye color or something small like that. So don't get too caught up in that. Just move on, run, move on, and make yourself available for somebody who does want a relationship with you. So those are the 4 red flags that I have. If you feel like I missed some, I'm sure I did. I just can't think of any off the top of my head right now. Also, don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you feel like I missed some and you want to share your knowledge, feel free to comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also hit the little bell right here. Yeah, that thing right there, so that way you'll get notifications every time I do upload, because I'm back on my weekly upload. In the meantime, keep up with me on all social media. Everything is AJB1227. And everybody have a good week. There's a lot going on in the world right now. Everybody have a good week and stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings, be careful, and I will see you next time. Bye.